Hello everybody, welcome to episode 2 of the Weekly Cheese. I am Matt Gunther.
And I am Kyle Greenwell.
Weekly Cheese is a new Starcraft 2 podcast where we cover some of the top stories within Starcraft 2 community, tournaments, patch notes, any drama.
Yeah.
Anything Starcraft 2 related, we'll probably be covering it. So first off, Kyle, how are you doing?
I'm doing wonderful, Matt. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. We'd like to apologize for the delay in this program. We said we would do it every week, which we've been trying to do.
Mm-hmm.
But we had some technical difficulties.
Yeah.
Basically, we had a bunch of new gear come in, and new equipment, some microphones and a mixer and stuff, and it wasn't working. So we had to send it all back, and by the time we got our new equipment and everything, it was like a week had gone by. So here we are. We think we have everything figured out. So should be weekly from here on out. So, Kyle, you got any stories?
Yeah, you want me to start?
Yep.
All right, number one story. I'm sure most of you have heard about it already. Sheth all kills EG in the IPL Team League.
Like a boss.
It was pretty major. Did you watch it?
I just caught the end of it, like the last 3 minutes of the last match when he actually finished the all kill.
Yeah, I got to see most of it. I didn't see the DeMuslim game, the very first game, but I saw him take out everybody else, and it was pretty spectacular. It just, I mean, nothing like crazy, like, you know, there wasn't crazy micro wars or crazy stuff you'd see in, you know, a lot of the GSL matches, things like that, but it just, every single game, Sheth looked like he was in total control the whole time. He never looked like he was in danger of, you know, losing a game. It was just, you know, him playing like a boss.
Yeah.
It was pretty awesome.
Just wrecking everybody. That's cool.
Yeah.
I like the all kills. There's been a lot of them lately in the GSTL.
Yeah.
Specifically, I know Bomber had an all kill a couple weeks ago. Marine King Prime had an all kill. That wasn't very long ago either. That was this month for sure. I don't know the date, but it's been a lot of them.
Yeah.
I like that GSTL. What do you think about that?
It's good. The team leagues are fun. Seeing, you know, it's a little more like team strategy kind of thing where you're, you know, you go into it thinking, okay, this is how I want to match up with this team. These are my players. These are their players. You know, I have X player who might be better against Protoss. So I'm going to try to see if I can figure out a way to get him to match up against that player. Yeah. So it adds a new kind of dynamic to the league, which is kind of fun to see.
How do the matches, do you know how it works as far as the matchups go? Like, do the schedulers say these people are going to start for your team, or do the teams pick?
No, the teams get to pick their lineup, but I'm pretty sure that they have to submit the lineup before the game starts. So, like, you know, if they start out with X lineup, they can't then say, oh, well, I want this player to substitute in. I don't think that they can do that. I think there has to be, you know, a lineup from top to bottom before any games are played, and they have to stick to that. So
the teams are pretty much doing it in the dark.
Yeah.
It's like they don't know who they're going to match up. So that's cool. I think that'd be interesting. I was just thinking about this because I've seen other events that do this, or sports in general. Like I know in hockey, like, you know, the line changes. I think it's home team gets to put their player on first. Visiting team has to line change last, right?
Right.
So that'd be cool if they did something like that, maybe like a coin toss beforehand. So like, you know, one of the teams would have to submit their lineup, and then the other team would be able to see that lineup and plan their lineup accordingly. That'd be kind of neat. You'd see some interesting plays.
Yeah, definitely extra strategy to an already chock full of strategy game.
Yeah.
So pretty cool. The only thing that I kind of don't like about it, and I mean, I shouldn't say I don't like about it, but, you know, when you have these all kills, sometimes you don't get to see players that you wanted to see. You know, like Sheth was the only player for that match for Team Liquid. We didn't get to see Rhett or, you know, any of the other players. We didn't get to see Hero or any of those guys play. So that was a little disappointing, but still pretty awesome that Sheth got to take care of business and take care of all 5 games. That was pretty cool.
I agree with that. I'm a big fan of the team league so far.
Yeah.
But yeah, I understand it's a bummer sometimes when you don't get to see your favorite player go at it. But I think it's cool because it's more team based, and I think that's needed. You know, coming from, you know, a Counter-Strike community back in the day, 5 versus 5. There's a real sense of, you know, teamwork and like camaraderie that's there within the team, and I think that's I don't know because I'm not a pro gamer, obviously, but I felt like that kind of was maybe lacking a little bit in StarCraft since it's so individual.
Yeah.
But having a team like this, I don't know, you have that feeling there. And I think it would help you support each other and everything because someone else's results are going to affect you in a team event.
Right.
And so that's kind of neat.
Yeah, pretty cool.
That's cool. So Sheth, Wreck and Shop.
Sheth's a baller.
All right, so my story, Reign forfeits its crown and disbands. So basically, it seems the details are kind of sketchy. There's like some drama in here from the player Spades. I guess he ended up just moving out of the team house, and there was like a misunderstanding. I guess the team Reign management was saying like, oh well, we just thought he was gonna come back or whatever. They said they had a feeling that he wasn't really dedicated to the team,
right.
And they kind of expected something like this was gonna happen, and I guess they were going to cut him from the team anyway. I don't know if Spades knew that or not, but he left the team. Just didn't come back from his vacation or wherever he went.
Right.
And I guess Spades posted a YouTube video saying that the Team Reign house didn't meet his expectations in terms of practice and dedication, and he was also like reflecting on his goals for the future, and he didn't want to be a part of it anymore.
Yeah.
So how does that lead to Team Reign disbanding? Well, I guess what happened originally was Team Reign and IGN decided to part their ways.
Oh,
right?
really?
And IGN, I'm guessing, was a major. Well, there's no guessing about it.
Yeah.
IGN was their primary sponsor,
top sponsor.
and had something to do with them financially. So I'm guessing that from IGN pulling that sponsorship from them, they probably just couldn't sustain it anymore.
Right.
So they had to fold. So that kind of sucks, man, because they have some good players. Kiwikaki and Slush, and I feel bad for Axlav because he just left Team EG, so he found Team Reign, and I was listening to the Starcast the other day. If you guys haven't seen that, the Starcast podcast, great podcast. I love it. They do a live Twitch TV show or whatever, but I always listen to the podcast like when I'm driving to school and stuff. But anyway, Axlav was one of the guests on there, and he was real excited about Team Reign.
Yeah.
He was like, I really like the house. The guys are cool, so it's kind of a bummer. But so Team Reign is no more.
Yeah. Those guys will get picked up though. Kiwikaki and there's an artist there.
Yeah, Artist and
Slush.
Emory. Yeah.
Those guys, they're all going to get picked up. So, they're probably not that worried. Axlav, it's probably rougher for him. He's not quite up there on the same level as a Slush or an Artist or even a Kiwikaki. So he might have to work a little harder to get picked up, but I'm sure he'll get picked up too. He's a pretty big name, and I'm pretty sure he streams occasionally. It's pretty popular.
Yeah.
So he probably won't have too hard of a time getting picked up.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure they'll all find homes, but it just kind of sucks.
Yeah, kind of crazy too.
Yeah.
I wonder what the background story is there with IGN pulling out. If maybe they didn't feel like the players or even the management of the team.
Hey. Hey. Loose.
Hi.
That's our guard right there.
Alrighty, second story for me. Came out recently. Total Biscuit decided that he was going to sponsor a player, and it's Dignitas Bling. Pretty interesting story here. I guess he came out and said basically, I've followed him through his whole career. I casted his games when they first did that Dignitas, kind of find a player type thing. He casted those games and watched him play. He watched him compete once he actually got signed by Dignitas at all these different events. And I guess he just really likes the guy's play and really likes the guy as a person as well. So he decided that he was going to personally sponsor a player, not even a team, just like a specific player on a team. So kind of unusual, maybe a little bit, but kind of cool to see too that he wants to get more involved than just commentating. He wants to take basically what it looks like what he's doing is he's taking kind of the money that he's gotten through the Shoutcraft Invitational and doing all of his stuff like that, and he's going to reinvest it into a player.
That's kind of cool.
You know, yeah, pretty cool idea.
I wonder how his teammates feel about that, though.
Yeah, that was, you know, I thought about that too. Like, you know, are other players going to be pissed because, you know, this guy is getting special treatment almost by you know, one of the more well-known faces in Starcraft. So, kind of a weird situation. Maybe a little jealousy from some other people is possible. But, you know, I mean, there's also a chance that they're just like, good for him, you know?
Yeah.
He was able to put that together, and that's awesome. So, nice to see him, you know, reinvesting in the community, reinvesting in a player, and trying to grow that player and then consequently that team as well.
And that's also going to help him. I mean, it's not like Total Biscuit is struggling for you know, YouTube subscribers or anything, but it'll definitely help him out as well.
Yeah, good publicity.
Yeah,
good PR. And then of course he has a new look as well that he unveiled recently.
That beard, I like it.
Yeah, that awesome beard. I like it too. It looks good. Did you see the photo on Reddit where they photoshopped him in and did the Godfather thing? That was pretty cool.
I did see that.
And he totally looks the part too.
Yeah. Good old Total Biscuit.
A quick story, but a good, interesting one.
Yeah.
So you got another one?
Yeah, mine. Quick story as well. Complexity signs Nada. It's kind of cool. Complexity actually went on a bit of a signing spree. They got Killer and I don't remember who the other person is. They got one more. Heart. That's right. Killer and Heart. So they have Nada, who, you know, he's a Brood War beast. One thing interesting about this, though, is Nada has to go for his mandatory military service in 2013.
Oh, really?
So essentially, Complexity has Nada for a year. And they addressed that in here. They said, hey, look, you know, we only have him for a year, but Nada, I guess he really wants, you know, he's determined. He knows this is like his final Starcraft push, so he wants to leave with the bang. So he's going to work real hard. He's real dedicated and motivated right now. So they want to have him on board. And I mean, it's Nada, you know. Yeah. He's good. He's gonna be able to find a way. Now I don't know if he's gonna be like best in the world.
Yeah, I mean he might not be winning any GSLs by the end of the year, but
he's gonna
he'll
do
post
well.
results for sure. He's a good player.
Yeah,
and he has been. I mean, he's been consistently a good player for, you know, ever since Starcraft 2 has been around, and you know.
Yeah, he's solid. I thought it was kind of funny because I saw Jason Lake, who's the owner of Complexity, the founder or whatever. Back when I was playing Counter-Strike, that's when Complexity was like born as a Counter-Strike team, and I met Jason Lake at CPL on a couple of occasions, right? Yeah. And I saw him post something on Twitter that he was going to watch the ASUS ROG, the Republic of Gamers tournament, and I was like, holy crap! I didn't know he was on Twitter. I didn't look, but I didn't know he was on Twitter, so I messaged him. I was like, dude, I haven't heard of you or seen you or anything since CPL, 1.6 Counter-Strike days, and he was like, those were the good old days. I was like, yeah, man. Yeah. But yeah, he's real. I actually heard an audio interview. I believe he's on some podcast somewhere. I don't know what it was off the top of my head, but he's really amped right now about StarCraft. He was basically saying how, I'm getting on a tangent here, totally not related to Nada, but it was kind of exciting because when Complexity was founded in the Counter-Strike days, there was like this shroud of mystery behind it because he was known as One, Complexity, the tag COL 1. Yep. Everybody's like, who is One? He guaranteed that he was going to pay a gamer the most, like the highest salary of any other gamer to this day. Yeah. So he was really into it. He was passionate. He was like at the Counter-Strike tournaments, he'd be behind the players and just like pacing back and forth like a trainer or something. And then I guess in this interview he said after Counter-Strike just kind of started to fall off, he lost his passion for it. But he's really excited about StarCraft 2, and he's in it. And he was like, I found that fire. You know, it's been lit again. So he's ready to go. And I guess he's been playing some Counter-Strike, and it was funny because he's like, "Oh, I'm not good or anything. I'm just a top gold player." And I was like, "That's gold. That's good in my opinion. You know,
it's good enough."
Yeah. So,
good enough for the owner of a team, like not an actual player, you know.
Yeah, and so I guess to tie it in,
kind of the mediocre,
yeah,
middle of the road, but
yeah, it's better than I am. So, but Yeah, I'm just glad to see that he's showing that by signing players like Nada and Killer and Hart, and showing that he's trying to improve their their Starcraft team.
Yeah, showing his enthusiasm by trying to get top players and
exactly,
and bring them on.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yep. So what do you got?
My last story. We are going to talk about it. The Winter Arena announcement going pay-per-view. There's been a bunch of chatter about it over the past probably week or two.
Yeah.
Everybody complaining about having to pay more money to see MLG, and the writing was on the wall. In my opinion, I kind of saw this coming. I got an email. I was a silver member last year for MLG to get the HD stream, and I kind of saw the writing on the wall when I got an email from MLG early this year. Saying basically that they're going to take HD streaming off the silver package and turn it into something that's kind of useless in my opinion. So you had to get gold. So that right there kind of told me, they're trying to monetize a little better this year and capitalize on the popularity of StarCraft from last year.
Yeah.
So they had huge numbers. StarCraft 2 is obviously doing really well, and now they're thinking, well, let's start making a little bit better money off of it. So, one of their answers to that was obviously taking HD off of the silver package and making it gold only, so you got to pay a little more for that. And then, of course, the Arena pay-per-view. And right now, I think there's 4 Arena events scheduled, but they're planning on 7 total Arena events throughout the year, and they're $20 a pop. So you're talking about an extra $140 every year on top of if you get the gold membership, if you pay for GSL, if you pay for any of this other NASL, some people pay for that. So I mean, yes, $20. I mean, skip a night of drinking and you cover it.
Yeah.
And I get that $20 isn't necessarily a ton of money, but at the same time, is that $20? Are you going to get all of your value out of that in a 3-day tournament?
Yeah.
And that's my biggest concern. I'm not 100% against what they're doing here. I understand that they want to monetize. I personally kind of feel like they're doing it a little too quickly. I think that they should continue to try to use the freemium plan to continue to grow, and then maybe they can start thinking about doing this. But obviously it's not my business, so they can do it however they want to do it. And I know that one of the reasons for this was they're paying out a lot of money, especially for these arena tournaments. They're paying for flights, hotel stays, food, basically all expenses paid for 32 players all from around the world to come to one city and play StarCraft for 3 days. So I'm sure it's extremely expensive for them to set all this stuff up, and so they're trying to get their money back basically by charging us $20 a pop.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's going on right now. We'll see how well it's working. I haven't seen any numbers in terms of concurrent viewers or anything like that for this, but we'll find out obviously over the next week or two.
Yeah.
And it'll be interesting to see what happens. Yeah. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of split on it. I mean, kind of like what you were saying, I understand why he's doing it. They if they're going to pay all expenses and all this other stuff, pay for people to fly over here and their hotels, yada, 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 that money's got to come from somewhere.
Yeah.
And the only way they're going to get it is to charge people money to watch the event, right? I mean, I don't know any other way.
Yeah, the only other way would be sponsorships or advertising, but
but the sponsorship's only going to go so far. I think that's kind of one of those misconceptions amongst the community, within the community. So I kind of thought the same thing. When I was back in my earlier gaming days, everybody's like, "Oh, just get sponsored. That's the solution to all your problems." And not to dog on the sponsors. I don't mean that at all, because they do a lot for what we have in esports. But it's not the answer to everything. They're not just going to be like. It's not like oh, I have a sponsor. We can do whatever we want. So the money's got to come from somewhere. The sponsors are going to help out, but you know, they still got to make money. It is a business at the end of the day.
Yeah, well,
you know?
and sponsors set budgets. You know, I mean, they have a budget of what they're willing to give, and it's not like every year they say, oh, okay, well, we're just going to throw another X amount of dollars on top of your budget for this year just because you want to do this arena thing.
Yeah,
you know, they have a number that they're willing to give you, and whatever else you have to spend, you got to come up with it somewhere. And your only options in this situation is either charging the customers or advertising. And
advertising.
Yeah, advertising. You know, as annoyed as I am that I'm paying $20 for each of these arena things, it probably is preferable to having to watch an ad every 3 or 4 or 5 ads between every single.
Yeah, you're
game.
right. You're right. When you put it that way, I'll pay for the added convenience.
Yeah, exactly.
Not having to watch that.
Exactly.
But yeah, you know, it's one of those things. Guard dog going crazy. It's one of those things where, you know, and I heard, I'm so bummed, man. Giovanni did a
Sundance.
Di Giovanni.
Di Giovanni.
Yeah, so yeah, Sundance. He did an interview addressing this. Hey, dog's going nuts. Calm down. Calm down. Anyway, he was talking about this, and he was saying, you know, he was defending it on. I mean, I can't remember. Did you see it by any chance? I don't remember what the show was. It was like State of the Game or something like that.
It was Live on 3.
Live on 3. Yeah, that's right. And that was the day my internet killed me. Which, by the way, Verizon, thank you, hit me up on Twitter at 2 in the morning to start troubleshooting with me.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
How cool is that? That's awesome.
That's very cool.
But yeah, I never got to watch the interview, but I guess he was defending it because Reddit blew up afterwards and was saying, you know, oh, I support it and everything.
Right.
But I don't know. I mean, it's like both sides have a case, you know. Yeah, it's expensive. Yeah, it's kind of you know, like the problem that I have with it overall is like GSL, okay? You pay $70 a year, I think. For that's like their lower package where you can see everything high def and all that. So $70 a year, but they have like a couple matches a day.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah,
whereas
it's a lot more content.
MLG is all of that packed into a weekend.
Mm-hmm.
So you have, okay, cool, I paid $20 for the weekend. Now, literally all weekend, I'm going to be sitting in the house watching StarCraft all day long.
Yeah.
Which is fine every once in a while, but, you know, it's just like a commitment, you know? You're not going to do anything else.
Yeah, it's rough. It takes it takes up an entire 3-day weekend.
It really does.
If you want to see every match and get your money's worth.
Yeah, and then, you know, another thing that kind of pisses me off, to be frank about it, is that it was, I don't know. I don't know the back end on how it's working or anything, but the fact that they couldn't get Day 9 on there because of scheduling issues, right? They proposed, you know, the position or whatever. They invited Day 9 too late, basically, where he already had plans.
Mm-hmm.
That leads me to believe that it was slapped together and kind of last minute.
Right.
You know? Now, I'm not saying the production value's crap or anything, because it's not. I mean, you can tell the tournament, it's been thought out and everything. But the fact that something like that, right, it's a commentator. It might not sound like a big deal, but it really is. Yeah. Like, I like listening to Day 9. He's awesome.
Well, I mean, they got Tastosis there.
Yeah, Tastosis.
And that's even rougher. I mean, you got to get those guys to come over from Korea. It takes time. You can't just call them last minute and say, "Hey, hop on a plane and come over to New York."
Yeah.
And commentate for it. I mean, so there was obviously some, you know, planning.
Yeah, something
from beforehand, and who knows what happened.
Maybe it was you know, Day 9 just had that booked way in advance. I don't know. I'm just kind of guessing here, but
yeah.
I don't know. Just for $20, I want to see the people that I want to see, and I want to hear the people I want to see.
Yeah.
You know, you can call that, you know, greedy or whatever, but it's my $20. You know, that's what I value as a customer. So
well, and it's more money than anybody's ever spent on a single event.
Yeah.
Like you're creating a new level of pricing that's never been seen before for StarCraft 2. So if we're going to pay that high premium for it, we expect, you know, much better quality.
Yeah, you're right.
You know, it's like we've talked about it, you know, before the show a little bit, and you know, one of my comparisons was to the UFC.
Yeah.
Where you know, we're both big fans of the UFC. We watch a fair amount of the pay-per-views, and yeah, they cost $55, $60 if you want to see it in HD. But the production value is off the hook. Like it's really crazy how good it is. And they're doing pre-game stuff. They have
those documentaries.
Yeah, the documentaries
like,
basically.
It's pretty much like a full
fighter.
movie, pretty much.
Yeah, and it's all shot in super awesome HD.
Yeah,
it's the two best commentators in the world for UFC. Which I mean, the Winter Arena has that as well with Nick and Tastosis, Nick and Dan.
Dog is about to throw up, and there it goes. Dog just threw up on the carpet.
you can't script that.
No, nasty. Now she's gonna come over here and lick you on the face.
Oh my god.
Ew, that'd be gross.
But I mean, we expect, when we're paying that money, we expect that production value.
Yeah.
And like we watched the arena last night, and they had trouble with DeMuslim in his second match, and they were basically just standing around for what seemed like at least an hour, right?
Yeah, it was a while.
Just doing nothing, not showing any matches, not showing any games. Now, granted, there were other streams playing games at the time.
Yeah,
but
you switched.
I mean, we could have switched, but even so, it just seems like the production value isn't quite up to what I feel like it should be for a $20 3-day tournament.
Yeah, I do like the presentation though.
Yeah, no, it's great. The
presentation's really
the
good.
layout feature where you can pick any number of streams basically to watch. You can drag and drop streams into different boxes.
Yeah,
you can watch it any way you want to watch it, and that's pretty awesome. Yeah. And they definitely made a huge improvement on that for sure.
Yeah, I think we need to we're going too long on this, but
yeah,
I think this was like the first experimental thing. So there's going to be some problems. But I bet that the next arena, $20. If you didn't buy it now, buy it next time for sure. It's going to be worth it. I guarantee it.
Yeah, they'll get all the problems.
Yeah, everything's going to be. There's still like some minor problems right now. The presentation's really nice, but there's some minor things like having to sign in so many times, and but it'll be good.
Okay.
All right. So my last story. So the title is After Poker, is gaming set to be a TV hit? And this story was on the Washington Post actually. And basically they're comparing gaming to poker. Right. Remember how poker just like took off? Boom, it was on television.
Yeah, the WPT and all the World Series
poker, all that. So they're talking about gaming. If he goes in here about how Twitch TV was actually just like an offshoot of Justin TV, and it wasn't a big deal. It was just kind of a project, but it didn't stop growing. Yeah, it just kept going and going, and now look at Twitch TV, and streaming games is a big deal.
Yeah.
So they're wondering if it's ready to get on TV. They're saying the marketing opportunity's there because the audience is big enough.
Right.
Which is cool. A lot of things are going on, like charities. Raising a lot of money for good causes and stuff, doing gaming marathons and whatnot.
Yeah.
So this was a fun statistic here. The site has over 1,000 marketing partners. This is Twitch.tv, by the way. The site has over 1,000 marketing partners and an average viewing time of 47 minutes per spectator.
So that's a full hour-long show.
That's like television. It really is.
That's actually a little bit longer than a traditional hour-long show.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So. It's interesting, and then you got bar crafts going on, which are helping out as well, because people are showing up to watch all these tournaments, and that all of them have a little Twitch TV logo on them, so people are seeing what's going on.
Yeah, and that barcraft thing is pretty significant in this scenario because it was 100% community driven. It wasn't created by like an MLG or a GSL. It was totally the community coming together and saying, you know what, this would be awesome to do in a bar. And they made it happen, and now it's all over the place.
Yeah.
So
what do you think about it? Do you think gaming's ready for the big time?
I don't know. I mean, it's a tough question because it's different than anything else on TV. And while yes, the numbers are pretty awesome, but it's like you have to take that with a grain of salt because a good television show.
You said salt, and I just started thinking about bacon for some reason. I really want some bacon right now.
A good TV show. I mean, now obviously we're kind of talking network here, so it's a little different. But like a good network TV show, if they're not getting 3, 4, 5 million viewers a week per show, then they're not good. They're not going to stay on the air. And cable show, probably somewhere between 500,000 and 1.5 is considered good. I mean, I'm just kind of throwing numbers out based on the little information I know about. Whereas Starcraft is not there at all. It's, we've gotten, a couple 100,000 concurrent viewers one time at one event, which is amazing. And it was very impressive, and those are awesome numbers. But are those really TV numbers? When you start talking about big business TV, big corporate television owners or station owners, if they look at 100 or 200,000 views, they're not going to be that impressed by that. So I don't know. I like the idea of it going to TV, but I don't want to do it before it's ready, before it's really ready to do it. Because if you do it too quickly, and it fails, you're not going to have another chance.
Well, what do you think about like G4 TV? I mean, that is already gaming on TV to some extent. Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
I think what they're talking about more here is actual gameplay, because G4 TV, is mainly like talk shows and stuff where they're reviewing games or showing off new games and stuff. I don't know. I haven't seen it in a while, but I don't know that they show like straight up, hey, look, here's a tournament.
I don't think they do any gameplay. Yeah. I mean, they're there. They could, I don't know if they go to like an MLG, but I know they go to BlizzCon and they cover it live. In different conventions, stuff like that. So they're there, but they're not actually showing gameplay of a tournament game. They might show gameplay of a new game that they're reviewing, but not of a tournament scene. So, a place like G4 TV, if they can get the viewers, it might have to start off in a weird time slot, a late night time slot or something like that.
But come on,
But I mean, see what happens.
Yeah, gamers, people already stay up till 2 in the morning or whatever to watch the GSL. I'm sure there'll be some. I mean, it might not be like you were saying, big time numbers, but there'll be an interest there for sure.
Sure.
I can't wait to see. I'm gonna blow your mind with some future knowledge right now. You ready for this? Brace yourself. So, have you heard about Apple is developing a television?
Yeah.
Right. So everybody's 50-50. Apple fanboys are like, yeah, awesome Apple TV. The rest of America is. It's going to cost $5,000, which probably will. But my point is, they're going to start a TV revolution, in my opinion. Oh, Mike. They, so it's Apple, so it's going to be, they're going to revolutionize just like they did with the iPhone and all that.
Right.
So I'm waiting for the day where I have my TV or whatever. You turn it on, and you're like, I'm going to watch some Twitch TV, and you just start watching again.
Yeah.
Or I'm going to watch MLG or something, and just start watching it right there on your television. I think that'll be awesome.
That will be.
So I can't wait for that.
I'm ready for that right now.
Yeah, right.
Yes, I want to go. I want to go into my living room and I want to turn on my TV and just pull up the Winter Arena and just start watching. That would be awesome.
Yeah. All right, man. Well, that's it. That's all I got.
Cool.
So, that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed episode 2. We will definitely get another one to you here shortly. We have the gear and stuff figured out, the equipment, so providing nothing is terrible in editing, we'll have another one coming to you shortly. Kyle, anything else?
I think we're good, bud.
All right. So check us out on Twitter. I'm at Madigans.
And I am at Eggnog SC.
And you can also follow us, the show, on Twitter at Weekly Cheese SC. Also, our website, since we don't really have one right now, is youtube.com/weeklycheese. And that's where you can find any other videos that we'll have. Please subscribe, leave comments, let us know what you like or dislike, or whatever. Any feedback you can give us really helps. I know last time one of my friends on Twitter was like, dude, you're chewing gum in the first episode. Are you kidding?
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, I didn't even realize that. And since it was our first video, I was a little nervous, so I was chewing the hell out of that gum.
Yeah.
Dude. I was just going to town. So yeah, thanks for letting us know, though. We appreciate that. And as you can see, I'm not chewing any gum.
Yeah, I mean, if we agree with you, we'll try to fix it and make it better for you.
Yeah.
So.
All right. Well, that's it. See you guys next week. So have a good weekend. Enjoy some MLG, and until next time,
enjoy StarCraft.
Enjoy StarCraft again. All right, guys. See you later.